Hi everybody, I'm Debbie at Basket Case Mama Fab Finds, and I'm here to do a video on what sold for the month of July. And unlike the month of May and June, things were looking up in July, I am happy to report. And I have some good sales for you. And I don't know if this will be one video or two videos, but we'll get through it and see what happens. And I just might let it go long, and then I might split it in half anyway. I have no idea. But so, and this is actually being recorded and will probably be uploaded today, which is August the 2nd, because I was ahead of the game for this part. But not because it was terrible, but because I was trying to do some things and paying bills, and I tithe, and my sales for the month all get included in that. So we'll get into all that. But I might have shown this at the end of last month because it would have been like sold, but it actually did sell in August. So if this is a repeat, sorry. If it isn't, it was definitely the best sale if I sold it last month. But this is a Sylvanian Calico Critters fish tank, and it lit up. You can see the little switch over here. The little doors opened. It had a battery in it. It would. The little middle part here spun around and there were fishies on it. And it came in a lot of other stuff that I have with Calico. So basically, I had pennies in it, and it sold for $90. I did get some lowball offers, and I did sit on it for a while, but it did sell for the full price, which is very cool. But this is apparently rare, so if you happen to find one of these when you're out and about, it's definitely a good pickup, because this little guy sold for quite a lot of money. And sometimes, big dollhouse stuff does generally, and some does, so does some of the Calico Critter stuff. You just have to kind of wait out for the right buyers. So this is a Chapin 16-ounce garden hose thing that you put on it. It's a sprayer. I think I got it with stuff to clean windows or something at some point. I had two. We ended up not using this one, and I've had it in it's been in there for a long time, but it did, how long exactly has it been in there, I wonder, pray tell. Can I do this really carefully, snitch it down, there we go, since it just says November 1924, but I'll tell you, I think it was relisted then. It was, so anyway, but this did sell for $32, and so that was just, I consider, if I bought it for myself and didn't use it, the cost of good is nothing on that. And I'm just looking at my little notes here, so I have some idea what I'm doing. By the way, I don't have any idea what I'm doing 99% of the time. Okay, there we go. So, and at the end of the day, I made about $22.61 on that item. So this is a Parish Nation 4X Western bowling shirt, color block, blah, blah, blah. This is sold literally 3 times. It sold, it was returned, it didn't fit. It sold, it was returned, it didn't fit. I did measure it, the second return, and I put all the measurements up, and guess what? It didn't get returned this time. I'm so delighted. So this sold for $19.22, and after fees and everything, I made about $15.68. So this is a multicolored, it's a hematite beaded necklace. So this was magnetic, which stunningly, I did not put it in the title, which is weird. But it was magnetic, the little hematite stuck together. And you could change the design of it based on that, wrap it around. See, it's like a choker, you could do it as a bracelet. It was good fun, and it sold for $55. And my profit was $42.63, and my cost of goods was $2.50. So this is a Pleplius monkey shirt, and you probably saw this in a haul video. Some of the Pleplius stuff does really, really well, and some of it doesn't do great. I mean, well, it did okay because I only paid $3 for it, but I had it listed for $22. I took an offer of $17 because after the last 2 months, I was taking some offers this month. And I took my offers last month. I always take offers if they're reasonable, honestly. And a lot of them aren't reasonable. So if you ever make a really unreasonable offer, I just reject them. I don't even discuss them. But if it's reasonable, usually I will accept them unless I am underwater on something and I need to get a certain price. But usually I can do that. So at the end of the day, I made $10.95 on this because I accepted an offer of $10. So the t-shirts don't do as great, but some of this stuff for this brand, Pleplius, does very well. So definitely look them up. And had this been, not a t-shirt or a different type of t-shirt, it would have probably done better. This is a Carter's Giraffe Lovey, and this was like a rose colored. It had little hearts underneath of it, as you can see there. There you go. And this one sold for $35, which was, full price. And I paid $1.66, so at the end of the day, I made $27.99. These are Volcom men's shorts. Again, had these for a long time. And I had $4 in them. And I took an offer of $15 on them, and I made $10.35. I actually have like 5 pairs of these different colors, so hopefully more of them will sell. This is a Webkins, and it's a wolf. And it doesn't have its like little tag or his code or any of those things, but he's so cute, right? And he sold for $13.33. I had $2 in him, so I made $10.10 after fees and all the good things. This is a Mattel Disney 101 Dalmatians. I have Mattel in there twice, duh. He has his original tag. His name is Patch. That's the tag right there. His collar's on there, his little bow. He's so cute. There's the Disney Mattel tag on there. So yeah, he's a little older, 1991. And he sold for $20, and I got him for 50 cents at the little thrift shop that I go to, and it was $17.05 after fees. This actually sold very quickly. Well, for plush, it was listed in June, beginning of June, so it sold in 60 days, less than 60 days. It sold in July, so that's pretty darn good. So if you happen to see any of these guys out there, and you can get them for a good price, they go for about $20, and you'll sell pretty quickly, which is nice. So these were for my church. My church has a yard sale items. So if you haven't watched me before, during COVID, when church was shut down and we were doing online church, and of course when people don't come to church, they're not making, they're not doing tithe. Well, some people tithe anyway, but some, people that drop it into the collection dish at the beginning aren't doing that as easily. And, some people were out of work, so they couldn't afford to tithe. And so, keeping the lights on and paying the mortgage was an important thing. So we had stuff that was donated for, doing a yard sale at one point. And I went through it, and I started doing stuff on Facebook Marketplace to sell some of it. And then when I started doing this, which was in the midst of that as well, I started, it was right at the end of that actually, I started putting things for them online as well to see if we could sell some of it and, supplement the income of the church a little bit, because after COVID, a lot of people didn't come back to church either for a while, which is weird to me, but it's what happens, people do what people do, and but the church needs to keep the lights on. So I started doing this for them, so all the money goes back to them, of course, after it sells, and I keep track of everything separately. But this was listed for $40. I took an offer of $30. So the church made $26.63 after fees, and I send that all to them when I do my tithe at the beginning of the month, as I'm noted on my notes. But these are interesting, and they're definitely older, but they were so unusual, and I honestly have to tell you, I didn't really think they would sell. But I knew if they did sell, they would sell for decent money. But they're just such an unusual thing. They're really cute little lamps. It's like a boy and girl, farm girls, a farm girl and a farm boy, and the little peasant with their little high socks and stuff. And they're cute, and they're definitely kitschy, but it just was such an unusual thing. I wasn't sure, but it did, so I'm happy. Happy for them. Very, very happy. So this is a Dakin teddy bear from 1985. He's like got a velvety nose. He was in really good condition. He's got little velvety paws. They weren't velvet, but they were like the real short fur. Super cute. And teddy bears are slow sellers, gotta tell you. But he sold for $27 on an offer, and the profit was $22 and a penny. And again, he was a 50-cent plush from the little thrift store before they sold all the plush and Mimi said. So this game belonged to my son. So I also have sold some things for him. He's my pastor son, and he's a big board game guy, and he had a bunch of games that he wanted to like trade out and sell some of them so he could get some new games. And this was one of the expansion packs for a game called Dice Throne. It was the Pirate and the Artificer, whatever that means. I have no idea. I'm clueless, okay? And it was $24. It sold for $24, okay? The shipping on this was $46.08 because it went to Germany, okay? And because it's got cards in it, so it was pretty heavy going to Germany. I don't do international shipping, but I do a lot of international shipping. Like, I don't offer it, but if people reach out to me and say, would you be willing to ship to XYZ? If I can, because there's places, things, you like Levi's, you can't ship them to other countries. So if it's something that can be shipped, I go look and make sure U.S. Customs will let me ship them, or Customs will let me ship them. And then once I know they're okay to ship, I will go look up the price to ship them on Pirate Ship. And then just so I can give them a ballpark price, and then I charge about 75 cents, depending on the size of it, for shipping handling. So I, cover my box and costs like that. And then send them a price. If they're willing to pay the price, because it's always so expensive, if people really want it, because they just can't get it at home, they will pay the price. They'll pay whatever that's going on with the tariffs. They'll just pay it because they want to get it. So this did ship to Germany. The gentleman was very, very grateful. He got there fast. I got to tell you, I work for a port. I was stunned how fast it got there. You go U.S. Postal Service, and I do believe it did. I do believe it went Postal Service. Sometimes it's cheaper to go UPS, but I do believe Postal Service was what I did for this. And I mean, at the end of the day, the profit for him was $18.99. But yeah, I sold 2 things actually overseas this month. So I'm coming up on the other one in a couple minutes. So this was a green crown for Toy Network. It was 13 inches. It was it was a limited edition, and it sold for $8.99. And I've had it since forever. I did it forever. It was 42 cents at whatever time I bought it, and my profit was $9.52 because the shipping cost was a little bit extra than what it costs. So I do flat rate shipping. So my flat rate shipping for plush is like, I think $6.35 for little stuff like this one here that you're looking at right now, and then it's I think $8.55 for like the mid-size plush that can go into the over a pound area, and then I have like a 9 something for things that go into the closer to 2 pound area, and then I have a higher price one for those biggie things, which I don't have a lot of those, and that's kind of how I do it. If usually it's within a little bit of what I do, and sometimes a little under, sometimes a little over, depending on where you live in the United States. Because I'm on the East Coast, if it's close to the price cut off, and it's going West Coast, it might cost me a little bit over, but it all kind of evens out in the wash. So the only time, and I have to do it today because I had somebody this happen to, the only time that I will refund is if you're putting things together and you're shipping more than one thing. Obviously, you've paid more than you need to, and I will send you a refund and a note. Thank you for combining. I've combined shipping, and this was your overage, and here's it back. Or if I estimate and it comes in just completely different, or I accidentally hit the wrong button and somebody has overpaid by more than like a few cents, then in those cases I will go back and I will refund the difference of that. So I actually had somebody that just bought something recently, and I've been waiting for him to get back to me because I haven't heard from him yet, because the item was not what I had thought it was when I cleaned it off, because it was really dusty. It was something that belonged to the church. It was a little trivet. I thought it was iron. It was metal. It was hard. When I rinsed off the dirt, it was dusty. I noticed that on the back that it was silvery, that it was just painted like it was iron. It wasn't really iron. And based on that, it also weighed a little less than it would have if it was iron. I mean, it was heavy, but it wasn't as heavy as my, estimated shipping was. So the shipping was more than I would have charged had I, otherwise. So I need to send him a refund. But I've been sitting on it a little while to make sure it doesn't get returned. Because if it gets returned and technically, I offer to return it, I'm going to pay the shipping coming back too. So once, I need to know that if that was going to happen. But I haven't heard from him, and it's been several days. So I'm going to reach out to him again because I reached out to him before I shipped it and gave him a couple days to decide. But I didn't want to get dinged because I have 3 days to ship. So it shipped, and I haven't heard a word. So we'll see what happens. And if I hear a word, then I will definitely, finagle it then. Once I know it's coming back. If I don't hear a word, I'll just send them the refund. But that's what I do. And I very rarely have to refund. Most of my refunds on shipping have to do with combining shipping, because I just tell people, just, order what you want and I'll figure it out. Sometimes if they let me know ahead of time, we can finagle it, because if they're buying a bunch of things, I can tell you, okay, this is the price. And I can put them together in a bundle and charge them, weigh them and give them a decent shipping rate, instead of individual rates for each thing. But either way, your money's coming to you if you do that. So you're going to get it. And I usually do it within 24 hours. It's like I'll have my husband weigh it right away and find out exactly how much it will cost to ship. And then I'll send back, the differential on that. So I'm pretty quick about that, because I know personally I would like that if the person was being conscientious of holding on to my money for any length of time. So this is a Burt's Bee security blanket, Lovey. It's got a little bumblebee on it. I had never seen this. This was so cute. It was for sale for $14.99. I did take an offer for $10, and I made $8.66 on it. It cost me $1. This is a Barbie ornament. It's called Evening Splendor. If you've watched any of, I'm pretty sure my haul videos, I have showed these guys. I picked these up at the big yard sale that I got everything for like $25. And I picked up a whole bunch of Barbie Hallmark ornaments. I picked up a whole bunch of little mini ornaments too, but none of them go for big bucks, honestly. This was on sale for 10% off, so it was $8.50, and it was $7.65 when they bought it. I had 60 cents into each of these. At the end, I just took everything I bought at that yard sale, and however many there were, I divided it by, into 25, and the cost of goods on each item came to 60 cents. That's how it worked out. So that was really good. I was very pleased with that yard sale. I wish they would have another one, because I would drive back there and get more stuff. So I made $7.48 on this at the end of the day, all in. So that wasn't bad. And I have many more. Okay, so I'm thinking when Christmas comes, that will be good. I'll probably make all my money back right on those ornaments. This is Jiggles the bear, and he's a terry cloth plush bear. He is Russ. Anything terry cloth, color block like this generally does pretty well. They don't, all stuffed animals are a little slow on the move. I did take an offer on this guy of $28, and my profit was $21.98 after fees. And I did have him for a little while. This one I didn't have very long at all. Again, this one went pretty quickly. You just never know. That one was like, I listed it the 5th, and this is July stuff. So let's see. It would probably sold on like the 8th. So that's pretty quick. And I paid 50 cents for it, but this is a precious moment. Long-eared puppy dog. He did have embroidered eyes, and I did take an offer on him of $15 because I thought that was still pretty good. And I made $14.48 at the end of the day. Again, it's that shipping juggle there a little bit. So this is the United Nations Service Medal Military Korea Defense, 1950s. It has a broken pin. So back when, maybe last summer, there was a girl selling some things out of a storage locker, literally out of a storage locker. But among those things, I think it was like her father's storage locker or somebody, or, their parents, whatever. And there was a box of military pins from World War II and Korea. And I believe they belonged to her father or her grandfather, and she was selling them as a lot, just the box of them. I think I paid maybe $10 for this box of pins and ribbons and things like that. And I've been slowly listing them little by little. And this was one of those. And a lot of them did have, they were like probably in a like memory box or a shadow box or something like that. So they were glued into a scrapbook or something. So the pins had been removed. And I just disclosed that. This one sold for $9.50 on an offer. Why it doesn't show that there, I have no idea. So and I think I have 35 cents into each one. So it's like a profit of $7.60. This is a Fratello Art Deco abstract tie. Those that watch my haul videos know that I pick up ties all the time. And I picked up this one. Something's wrong with eBay today because this was crossed out a half hour ago and everything was crossed out. And now everything's not crossed out. So, I mean, it was crossed out here and it was also crossed out on the littler one that's in my back office that shows what I did take for it, the actual sell price. So usually it's crossed out here and then it's right there, but it's not crossed out. Now it's not crossed out here and I did take an offer and it's probably not crossed out there either. So I don't know what they're doing this morning, but if you're having trouble, they're doing something because I can tell. Anyway, so I paid her $1 for this and I did pick this up recently. Art Deco ties sell for me every time very quickly for decent money. Depends on the brand, but it'll go anywhere from $15 to $18 for, some like the lower end brands, like just, to $25, $30 for some of the nicer brands. So, and every single time. So this one sold for $18 and my profit was like about $15.50. So every single, you can see this is what the whole thing looks like. So I usually take about 8 pictures. You can see there too the string that runs. Now, so a tie, in case you don't know, this string that you can see here, this little bit of string that's kind of showing here, a tie is sewn with one string from the one end to the other. So this is easy to fix because you just need to give a little yank on the bottom string and tighten it up and then, just re-knot it. So it's really easy to fix. But so you can see that probably that's the string right there. And then when you pull it, it'll tighten the whole entire tie up and you just have to trim it and retie it. You just have to be careful, of course, because it's silk. You don't want to pull anything wrong. But yeah, so it was in very good, it was in a nice shape. And like you can see up here, this darkening, that's just shadow because it does have like a light yellow and then a hue of darker yellow, but it's not stained because that was my concern. Whenever I see that, I'm thinking, oh, somebody got coffee on it. But it was not a stain. It was just the way the fabric was done. But anyway, so you have to look at ties for stains on this part down here and around the neck for people that get the guys that sweat because the silk, some of the dye will even like it gets very yellow, but it also, and you cannot get those kinds of stains out of silk. Don't think you can, you cannot. Silk is very persnickety. Now, some newer silk, because it's blended, it's 100% silk, but because it's done differently, it is washable silk. There's, so some of those you can get stains out of pretty easily, because I'm a stain getter-outer. But silk, the older silk, these vintage silks, you're not getting it out, and you'll probably make the dye run, because the dye is not fixed like stuff today. So don't do it to yourself. Just keep moving. Fortunately, they don't cost much. So if there's a problem when you get it home, it's not the end of the day. But, it can be annoying. Here we go. We're back to crossing things out already. I'm telling you, Facebook's doing something. So this is a Joseph Feiss shirt. It's got a point collar, which is this here. If there's buttons on it, that's a button-down collar. If it's wide or open, it's a spread collar. You can go online and find all that information out, and you should if you're going to sell men's dress shirts, because these things matter. Also, cuff styles matter. I recently bought a very high-end shirt that has cuffs that don't have buttons on them. They require cuff links, so which is fine because it's a very fancy dress shirt. But you need to know. Like I got home and I went. Now I know because I'm old. Like there's things that have been around for a long time that I know because I'm old. If my daughter was like, "Why doesn't it have buttons?" Because you're supposed to use cuff links. Well, why? Why would you do that? Like because that's like when you dress very nicely in a very expensive suit. You're not supposed to have little white plastic buttons on your shirt. You should have like gold or silver or onyx or something diamond or something fancy on that wrist right there. It's like men's jewelry. So anyway, lessons learned. She learned so much. We went to a flea market this week, and I'll have to talk about that in another video. But I'd like to go back. I would have gone today, but I'm still struggling with my ear infection, and I'm finally on antibiotics after doing a round of steroids because I thought it was my jaw. But we're feeling better a little bit today, thanks. And it's nice here today. It's not 1,000 degrees, so today would be a great day to go, but we'll have to wait till another day. Anyway, so this shirt I was asking $36.88. I took an offer of $31. It was a $3 shirt, and I made $21.94. Hey, so I decided to cut the video here because it really ran long, and then I'll do a part 2 of what sold in July. So keep an eye out for that. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Please give it a thumbs up. Please ignore the stuff behind me because that's stuff that's going into the picture box soon. So please give it a thumbs up and let YouTube know that you like what I put up. Please subscribe so that you can be part of my group and that you're seeing all the things that are going up. It's free to subscribe. It's not like a membership or anything. And then if you hit the notification bell, it'll also let you know every time that I do put up new content, because I do videos like this, which are what sold videos. I do haul videos, and I also do an occasional video out and about when I'm sourcing, and I do videos on things that are, what to be on the lookout for, and things that are selling for money that's really good right now. So when you're out and about, you can look for things to source as well if you decide that you're doing this and you're going to be crazy like me, or even if you just have some stuff around the house that you'd like to make, get rid of and sell on eBay, and you have an idea of some things to, like, I have that and I don't use it, why don't I sell it? So anything that, that way. Please leave a comment, guys. Share it with your friends. Let everybody know, that I'm crazy, and best case Mama Fab Finds is out there. Just being real, and I'm just doing my thing. So I appreciate you all, and I thank you so much for watching from the bottom of my heart, and I'll catch you on the next one.